G'day guys, how's it going? And thanks for dropping in. I don't know about you, but I'm amped about the rumours or the upcoming announcement about the forthcoming release of the Canon R7 variant of the R series of cameras. It's going to be the replacement for the 7D derivatives of the Canon EOS DSLR camera series. And you know, the first thing that jumps out to me about it being cool is the fact it's going to be a crop sensor option that you can use with your RF series of lenses. And that's really, really cool because for someone like me, I've got the Canon EOS R, and I know, of course, you got the R5 and the R6 and the R3, which vastly outstrip the EOS R in terms of performance. It gives an option for a second body over which we can use our RF series of lenses. At the moment, my second body is a DSLR variant. That means I'm very much confined to using my EF and EFS lenses on those bodies. You cannot adapt back the RF series of lenses back to the DSLR models. And the cool thing about it is I was thinking to myself, look, I might get an R6 and use that as my primary body and then have the EOS R, which I'm filming on now, as my second body, particularly when I'm shooting events and weddings and 21st parties and all those sort of things. You must have a second body, and if you want to know why, you might want to just check into this video up on the card now. But it was kind of holding me back because I didn't kind of want two full frame bodies, and I know it may seem a bit obscure to say something like that because, of course, why wouldn't it be cool to have two bodies exactly the same? Not only for usability and interchangeability, but of course because of the common functionality. But with the option of the R7 rumoured to be released later this year, it's going to give an option to have a second body with a lot of those things. The usability, the interchangeability, the functionality, commonalities. Wow. But it allows the option of having a crop sensor body. And the advantage of that, notwithstanding the fact that the sensor may actually crop into the center of the lens and you may lose some speed out of your RF lenses, but it's the fact that it gives the extra reach and gives you the options to compose differently on your second body. I mean, I would just love to have my main body being the full frame, getting true to focal range frames, and then have the ability to put that same lens onto the crop sensor, the R7, and get a slightly tighter frame. Not only that, a few of the specs have been rumoured, and then after a lot of work on the internet, not by me, by other people, those specs have become a little bit more widely known. So I'm going to rattle off those really quick, and then I'd be interested to know from you, are you psyched about this upcoming release? Let me know any thoughts you might have, and things that I might not have thought of, why it's going to be either good or a bad idea to focus on the crop sensor option in the R series of cameras rather than going for the second full frame. Okay, so the EOS R7 is rumoured to come out with a 32 megapixel aps-c BSI image sensor. Now 32 megapixels sounds quite big, but of course with like the 90D, that's jumped up into that 30 megapixels range, so there's no reason why that can't then carry over to the EOS R7. 20 frames per second. Now I do think that's going to most likely be in one shot and may not be for the focus tracking modes, but certainly 20 frames per second is pretty quick. Certainly quicker than mostly what I've got so far. You're talking the DIGIC X processor. Look, I don't exactly know what that means. It means the camera's going to operate faster, it's going to clear to the card faster, it's going to process all the data faster. Faster is better, right? The thing that really is cool about the upcoming R7, it's going to have dual card slots. It's going to have one time CFE Express, wow, they sound expensive, and then one SD card slot. With the EOS R, I've only got the one card slot, the SD card. 4K at 60 frames per second, 4K at 60 frames per second. And I wonder if it's going to make use of a full sensor. I mean, when I use 4K on the EOS R, it does crop in on the sensor. As you know, it's about 1.6 or 1.7 times. So you do lose a lot of your available sensor. I wonder if it'll be the case that with the R7, not only with its inherent crop of about 1.6 times, whether or not there'll be an additional crop on that for filming 4K. If we look to the 90D, of course that did not have an additional crop. It made use of the full sensor for the 4K recording. So I'd like to see that carried across to the R7. I think it will. 1080p at 240 frames per second. And the only other option I've got to get into the realm of 200 or 240 frames per second is to use my GoPro or my phone. The latest hot shoe, I'm sure that's good news. I guess it's a more smart, intelligent hot shoe. I don't particularly have a use for it myself right now, but anything that's better, anything that's the latest, why not? It's all good. The next thing is the combination of the ergonomics from the R5 and the R6. Like, I love the ergonomics of the Canon EOS R, and I can only imagine that the R5 and the R6 are better, even though they are bulkier cameras. I'd expect that the R7 is probably going to be a little bit more bulky than the EOS R, but I'd hope to see something in the same or the similar realm of ergonomics. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I don't see that as a major factor at all at this time. And then the most important thing about this is that the announcement is predicted to be in August of this year. As to when they'll release the R7, or certainly as to when it will come out here to New Zealand, could be quite a while after that. And that's okay with me, because I'm going to need to start saving or putting something aside or selling off some other kit in order to finance the Canon R7. But the point of this video is that I am super amped for this forthcoming announcement, because at this stage these are just rumours, so hold me to it if you wish. But yeah, it looks like we'll see an announcement this year about the Canon R7, the first option for a crop sensor R body that can take your RF lenses. I mean, I'm starting to build up quite a collection of the R series of lenses. I have more R series of lenses now than I do EF lenses. So this to me is awesome news. I wonder if you feel the same. As I say, let me know below. One thing I did notice in the rumours is there's not a stack of information about what the potential price might be. Out here in New Zealand, with the R5 being about $6,500 and the R6 being about $4,500, I wonder if there's a chance the R7 will drop somewhere in between, or whether or not they can pull the R7 back to under the price of the R6. Wow, that'd be good. I'm picking about $4 grand. Oh my gosh. Again, thank you very much for watching. Have an awesome day. We're going to catch you next time. Bye.